one player that's been taking a lot of heat in the NBA, especially here over these last few weeks since the playoffs started and up to the point where we are now, of course, has been Kawhi Leonard. I mean, the injury he had in the playoffs was very unfortunate. He was playing so well. He was playing at the top of his game, probably the best we had seen him play in a couple years. And then, an injury happened, and then the Clippers' ultimate demise came after that, along with Paul George not playing, in the first round due to his hyperextended knee. And, it just trickled down from there, it seemed like. And, you got naysayers like Stephen A. Smith going on TV saying Kawhi should retire, and you got other idiots saying the same thing along with Paul Pierce, but they're just idiots at the end of the day. You can't tell a player when to retire. You can't say those type of things to me, or you can say what you want, but it's nobody's, right really to say that to another player or say that about another player just because you dislike him and he's not conforming to what you think and what you say and how you believe a player should be. Now, of course, a lot of people are not big on load management. I definitely understand that. I'm not big on it, but Kawhi is not doing it because he's just faking. He's doing it because he definitely has lower leg injuries. He's had it since 2017, and it's just one of those things he's going through as a player, and he does what he can to be out there on the floor as much as he can to be the best player he can be, is what I truly believe. And when I think about that with this whole situation now, here lately, a Hall of Famer, Reggie Miller, came out and spoke in behalf of Kawhi Leonard. And, basically, Reggie says that, he knows what Kawhi Leonard has done for this league and how great of a player he is, and how he's, when he won the championship with Toronto, came out of nowhere. He won a championship with the Spurs against the Miami Heat, and he's a two-time champion and a two-time Finals MVP, along with a two-time Defensive Player of the Year. And he knows how great this player is, and he shouldn't receive all the slander that he does. Even though Reggie Miller also puts in there, he doesn't really like or is a big fan of load management, but he definitely loves Kawhi. He loves watching Kawhi play, and he loves his game. And I'm definitely on the same boat with Reggie Miller. Kawhi is definitely my favorite player. We know that. But at the same time, I just love the way Kawhi goes about, does his business, and the way he plays and how he plays both ends of the floor. I don't think we have enough players like that. I hate the fact that he gets injured because I know how great he is. And he's such a joy to watch to me because the way he plays with that Jordan-esque mentality in the playoffs, and, him surprising people out of nowhere with his leaping ability at times, the way he can, rise on somebody and posterize somebody at times. And that 17-foot jumper is so lethal and it's so deadly, along with his defense. I mean, he's just one of a kind type player. And you hate to see any player get hurt, but definitely a player of his caliber, because you know what he can do. And if he was healthy, even without the services of Paul George, I still think the Clippers would be in the second round playing against possibly the Denver Nuggets or whoever they would have drew. And I definitely think whoever is playing them would definitely, feel the wrath of the Claw, because the Claw is just one of those type players where, he can make things happen at times on defense, and it just changes the perception of a game, and then the momentum swings in the favor of the team that he's on. And he's done it so many times. And, honestly, I definitely think it would have been tough to beat the Suns in the first round, but I definitely think in 7 games, Kawhi definitely would have found a way, because I think he definitely just had, Kevin Durant's number, and I think he shook Kevin Durant up a lot. And I think, ultimately he would have slowed Booker down a little bit, the few possessions he might have guarded him, and it just would have been a different outcome. But either way, that didn't happen, and either way, he got hurt. And then you hear all the naysayers, but, I'm glad, as I said before, I'm glad somebody like Reggie Miller, a Hall of Fame player who actually played the game, spoke up for a player like Kawhi Leonard, because a lot of players definitely understand where Kawhi Leonard's coming from, because they actually are playing the game, and either they've played the game in the past, not unless they choose to just be a hater like Paul Pierce, who nobody damn liked and nobody still doesn't like. And he's really just a nobody. He's always been a nobody to me, really. He's definitely looked at as a, superstar amongst many in Boston. But outside of Boston, nobody gives a damn about Paul Pierce, and probably never will. But either way, like I said before, when you have great players, other great players speak highly about a great player like Kawhi Leonard, NBA legends like Reggie Miller, it means a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that message got to Kawhi Leonard, even though he's probably using all the negativity as motivation. But I hope that message got to him, because I really feel like Kawhi Leonard gets done wrong unjustly. He doesn't talk. He doesn't say nothing. He goes out and play, when he can. And he's the best player he can be when he's on the floor. And I don't think we can ask no more or no less from him. And like I said, if he has to load manage to play games, he's not doing it fakingly. I mean, you just heard Paul George. If you can, if you want to YouTube it, Paul George is on there speaking about Kawhi Leonard and himself, that they're not faking injuries just to load manage. No, it's all about they're actually not available to play because they're not able to play. It's not about faking injuries. It's about being the best player you can be when you're on the floor. If you can't go out there and dominate, you're just going to put yourself in the way, and you're not going to give your chance a good team to win. So it's like, if you can't go out there and play, if you're not right mentally, physically, you're going to hinder your team rather than help them. And so that's the reason why the load management thing is there. Now, I do know at times they probably actually load manage Kawhi, because they think, they know his knees are not the greatest, so they load manage him anyway just to give his knees and his body an extra rest. But I think, Kawhi definitely wants to play every game. He's definitely a competitor, and he's a high level competitor, just as Reggie Miller said, in his comments about Kawhi Leonard. So, I mean, I definitely believe the same thing, and I just don't know where all the slander comes from, or why he gets all this slander. I know the Clippers have not won a championship, but damn, what other superstar player has came to the Clippers and helped them win a championship? Not one. That lets you know how hard it is to win for an organization who's never won a championship and never had the opportunity to win a championship, because they ain't have a player of the caliber like a Kawhi Leonard. Because let's be honest, Kawhi Leonard is the best player that the Clippers have ever had. You can say Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, but they're not, or you can even throw Paul George in there. They're not better than Kawhi Leonard. Their game is not better. Kawhi has won championships other places. All those players I just named won championships nowhere on any team, along with the Clippers. So no, Kawhi Leonard is actually the best player the Clippers have ever had. So it's like, I know it seems like very bad because he hasn't won a championship with this team, but the injuries are just, unfortunate. There's nothing we can do about it. Neither can he. So I'm glad that, he has people speaking out for him in a good way, because all the negativity I heard was just a wave of BS that we didn't really need to hear about, because other players got injured in the playoffs, not just the superstar Kawhi, but other superstars, Giannis, John Moran got injured in the playoffs. I mean, you can't just rule out one guy when other superstars got injured as well. But that just goes to show how much they hate the Clippers and, have a hatred towards Kawhi, because they're the biggest threat to the Lakers and LeBron James. And it's definitely understandable why a lot of media push back on the Clippers, because a lot of media pulls for the Lakers. So I get it. But at the same time, I just hope that Kawhi, rests his body, gets well this offseason, and come back stronger next season and prove everybody wrong and be the best player he can be, and be the superstar that he is, and go into the playoff next year and, blast off the way I know he can. And hopefully this team will stay healthy, because I definitely know for a fact this team stays healthy. Nobody really will want to see them if they keep the same team they have now, pretty much. Nobody will want to see them in the first round or any round of the playoffs, because that's how deadly they would be. And like I said, with the claw at the top of his game, if he can rest himself and get the conditioning and all the stuff he needs for his knees and get back right, along with PG, hey, there's still a possible chance if they run it back, it could be a championship.